Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Maverick Mindset Radio Show. I am Adam Williams.
And I'm Ashley Muckenow.
And this is the radio show for the dreamers and doers. It's for those who are willing to step into the arena.
Some call us the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers.
We don't accept the status quo. We leave the world better than we find it.
We approach each day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. We maintain a rational optimism about the future.
This is the Maverick Mindset Radio Show, brought to you by me, Adam Williams. We obviously don't pre-record that opening, and some of us weren't ready to start. Joel was ready, but no one with a microphone.
Oh.
I feel like it went from standby to go. Like 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's Joel's fault. We
never felt so rushed
one.
in my life, Joel.
That's good, though.
Yeah.
That actually ties into today's topic a little bit, putting a little pressure on people.
At our old pace. Can we go back?
That is dead on with today's topic too. Thanks, Joel.
Thanks.
We scripted that perfectly. Here we are, December 10th, episode 72.
72.
Yeah, I wasn't here for 71. It was great.
That was fun.
My favorite part is I was in Florida listening to it live while you guys were here, and it was cold
and I
snowing.
remembered the Blowing Your Minds. I'm like, oh, I got it.
It was good.
I think Adam's listening, so if I mess that up.
You did great. And then it was really funny at the end because you know we sign off every episode with "I believe in you," and you asked Jackie, "Do you want to say the line?" And she's like, "What line?" Like, oh man, it was so good. It was so good. That was a really great episode. Based on my inbox, the consensus is we need more Jackie and less Adam on this show. Which, hey, I'm willing to make that sacrifice for you, our listening audience. So here we are, episode 72. You got to say this title. It's like a tongue twister for me.
Okay, the title is "Why You Want to Go Back When You're Meant to Go Forward: Avoiding Staying Where It's Comfortable."
Yeah, that's a good one. And here's where this came from.
Yeah.
This is going to be a therapy session for Adam today.
I don't think I'm going to cry.
I haven't cried since the Edmund Fitzgerald episode.
Do you want the tissues? You might cry. Just in case.
Yeah, I haven't cried since the Edmund Fitzgerald episode. You know, one of those clips from that show has 200,000 views on Instagram.
Holy cow.
And then the same clip is over 100,000 on TikTok.
That's a show you could keep watching back and listening, because he, in that short amount of time, he gave so much information that I could listen.
Yeah, I sent it to my mom, and she's like, he was talking too fast. I'm like, he's got 50 years of history, more than that even, crammed into a 1 hour episode.
Trying to get it all out. So
buy the book, which did
you order?
John Bacon posted yesterday. I couldn't. It was sold out.
Really?
So the publisher has now gone through their 4th and 5th printing, and it's back in stock. And it's. I think he just hit his 4th consecutive week on the New York Times.
If that's not a movie,
list.
I don't know.
So.
I really don't know.
Well, that's a different game. It should be a movie, but Hollywood makes those decisions.
Yeah.
And although there are exceptions to that, but they usually don't turn out good.
Yeah.
So I know you haven't read this book, so I'm not even going to mention it. But Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. It's a very triggering title, author, concept to a lot of people. It's very polarizing. I don't understand why it is, but really good book. If you ever have time to sit down and read 700 pages, highly recommended.
700 pages?
Yeah. And it's really, I mean, if you'll read that book and go, oh yeah, I get why Adam is the way that he is. Because it's all about, you know.
It may be worth reading.
It's the reality of if I'll oversimplify it and I'll get it wrong and a bunch of Ayn Rand fans will yell at me. But the basic idea is, as long as I'm doing what I need to do for me, everybody else is going to be better off. And the moment basically the government comes in and says, you need to work for other people, you need to sacrifice for other people, then corruption comes into the mix and motivation goes away. So the concept of the book, if you've ever heard the phrase, "Who is John Galt?" which actually we had Tim Chermak from Platform Marketing on the show. He owns a company called John Galt Mortgage.
Okay.
Now you know why Tim and I are friends.
Got it.
But the whole concept, there's this mystery in the book of who is John Galt? Who is John Galt? And it turns out that he's a real person, and I don't want to ruin the story. You need to read the book. But so it's a book that's very appealing to independent, wannabe successful business owners and folks like that, libertarians, etc. So it needed to become a movie.
Yeah.
So it's such a long book that it ended up being a 3-part movie.
Oh, it was a movie.
But they had to basically like fundraise for it privately because Hollywood would never put anything out like that. So it's a pretty decent movie, but like the actors that play the characters change from episode to episode.
Okay.
So it's hard to,
to
follow the continuity. But it is a good movie. I will never forget when we moved back to Erie, we were in our first house that we had here, and Royce was, I don't know, 2 or 3. And there's this opening scene where there's a plane flying and drama and intrigue. And the phrase "who is John Galt" becomes this phrase of like despair to people. Like when you get in this situation and it's like the unanswerable question, and it's like, here we go again, right? Imagine you're sliding down your driveway in your car and you can't stop, and you just go, "Who is John Galt?" Right? Yep. Like that's what they do. So we were watching this movie, and Royce was probably 2 or 3, and the opening scene, because of course I have to indoctrinate him from a young age, and he nailed it. The plane does what the plane does, and he goes, "Who is John Galt?" Like right on with the movie, as if he was reciting Toy Story. It was so good. But that's not why we're here today. We got other stuff to cover today. Although someday we should do a show on Ayn Rand and The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged. All really, really great books. All of her books are pretty good.
We need to get a book list out.
I was thinking
so many.
All right, here's an idea, and hopefully our AI recorder picks this up. Why don't we do a book club in our business? And if you had 12 people and each of them were assigned a single book. Yeah. You got one a month, and then they can come in and present when it's their month on that book. Here's what I learned, right? And I'm not talking fiction, but I'm talking, I looked at a stack of books in my office this morning and I thought, man, it'd be really great for everybody on our team to read all of these, but that is a lot of reading. And I'm assuming that I read a lot more than they do. But if we could have somebody come in and teach the lesson.
Yeah. So, because I feel like all of those books, they do have really good lessons. And I think they're impactful to the way that obviously you are and that you run your business, but can be for us as employees and how we work. So that's not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea. Most of my ideas are bad, but the ones that are good are really good.
Brilliant.
All right, so here we are, blowing your minds every Wednesday at 9, going live at 9:05, stumbling over the intro on a weekly basis, Maverick Mindset Radio. You can check us out on Facebook, where we stream live, and on YouTube. I did it yesterday. I hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, finally.
Nice.
So I can get my custom URL. That took way too long. The irony was I created a new account. I had that. I had over 100 before and had my custom URL, and then I decided to rebrand a little bit. So yeah, finally hit it yesterday. So nice. We'll be easier to find on YouTube now, and of course Apple Podcasts and Spotify and MaverickMindsetRadio.com. And don't forget, what we're about to do in the next 48 minutes is going to be awesome, just like it is every single week. And if you like what you hear, please share the show. Please tell your friends, because they may hear something in an hour that completely changes the trajectory of their day or week or month or year. If you don't care about people, don't share the show. That's fine. Ruin my kids' Christmas. I don't care. So here's what we're doing today. I needed to talk through this. I needed to talk through something. All right, let me take a step back. There are tools that we've created in our business.
Yes.
There are spreadsheets that we use that we can go back to over and over and over again. There are scripts. There are templates. There are systems that we have that we create and we can use over and over and over. And this is true in every business. Whether you've done it intentionally and documented it or not, your business has different tools and different systems that it runs on. And I find, I recently came to the realization that I need to create a new tool. And that's going to be this episode.
All right.
So this is for you entrepreneurs and employees, business owners and their team, of what to do when you want to quit.
Yeah.
Or what to do when you want to go from where you are and go backwards to where you were because it feels like it was better. It feels like it was easier. And you have that nostalgia for the way things that were in the past. Because we all get it. Anybody who denies that is either completely full of it or flat out lying to you. And of course, there is a distinction there. So I wanted to go through and think through a system of what do you do in those moments when you walk in the door and you see what's going on and your immediate instinct is I'm walking right back out that door. Or when you reach that new level. When you grow your business from $250,000 in revenue to $500,000, or from $500,000 to $1 million, or from $1 million to $5 million, and you go, I got to go back to where I was before. What do you do in those instances?
Yeah.
That's what this show is about.
Stops you from throwing in the towel and be like, nope.
Yeah.
Not.
So what do you do? What do you do when you get that feeling of maybe I should just stay right where I am? Let's stop growing. Or let's go even worse, I think. Let's go back to where I was instead of growing and moving forward. It's that moment as a business owner when you think about opening up Indeed and seeing what jobs are available. What do you do?
That'd be hard. I don't know how you could be a business owner and then go back to working for someone. I don't know how you make that mind
Well, all right. So
switch.
first thing is I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I want to make that abundantly clear.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that are not cut out for entrepreneurship.
Like tried it and it just.
Yep, not worth it to them. They're not going to figure it out. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do what needs to be done to make it happen. Okay, that's a very negative way to phrase it. Or they realize they could actually be more successful working for someone else because they get to stay in their zone of genius. Could you imagine if someone hired me to do the marketing for their business and that was my only job?
Yeah.
That business would dominate. It would dominate.
Yeah.
But in my business, I got to do that.
And everything else.
And I got to lead.
Yeah.
And I got to manage. And I got to review the financials. And I have to recruit. And I have to make sure that the cash flow is in line and the budget is in place and the marketing plan exists and it's executed to the best that we can.
You can't hyper-focus on the one thing.
It.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this. So let's get this out of the way early in the show. When you have that feeling of maybe I should go backwards, maybe I should quit, maybe I should go get a real job, don't completely dismiss that. I think there's a lot of talking heads out on the internet that say, no, you just got to power through and tell that voice to be quiet. I don't know. That voice may be right because I know a lot of entrepreneurs and I know most of them are not cut out for this life.
What did we say with somebody that has an entrepreneurial spirit or like it but can't do it? What did we say that was? We had that before.
We've talked about intrapreneurs.
Is that what it is? Is that what
well, I don't know that your definition was exactly on, but the intrapreneur is someone who wants to create something and grow something, but they'll do it within the umbrella of another organization.
Okay, yes.
So you can be very entrepreneurial and still be an employee.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We love those people.
Yeah.
I just realized we have a bunch of those people. I'm not even following. I'm done with the script. So we kicked off an AI task force in our office, right? Because we see what's coming.
My first time last week.
Yeah.
This week.
We've only had 2 meetings, but so our challenge at meeting 1, you know what I need to do is I need to go back and find that recording because I'll share it with anybody, right? That's one of those things where I give a little lesson to the team and then I send them out with an action item. It's basically what I do with this show. So I should really share that video, but I gave 2 challenges to our team. Challenge number 1 was I got you all the fancy ChatGPT subscription. You have access to Gemini through our Google accounts. Go out and use AI every single day for something. And the second challenge kind of related to that is when you're doing something, instead of asking, how can I do this? Stop and ask, how can AI help me do this? And that was all I told them.
Yep.
I didn't say, you have to change the world. You have to solve world hunger. You have to completely transform this business. I said, just go use it every day and start asking that question. And our second meeting after that month of that challenge, they came back and blew my minds.
Yeah.
We had Jocelyn, who's one of our virtual assistants based out of Mexico. She started creating a tool. Think about this impact.
Yeah, this is crazy.
She started creating a tool, and I'm gonna leave out the details, but she created a tool using AI and automation that will save her 45 minutes on every client that we have. Okay, let's do the math. We signed up over 100 clients this year. That's 45 hours.
Yeah.
400, whatever.
It's
2 weeks. It's 2 weeks of her job that she just eliminated of low value, relatively low impact. It's like necessary evil work. It's basically let's call it data entry.
Yeah.
45 minutes per client.
I love
so
how
4,500. I got to do the math.
do that.
Right. And if I had told her, here's how you go use AI, I would have totally missed that. Right. I got to do the math. 45 minutes, 0.75 times 100 clients. That's 75 hours. That's 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks of employment. If every person
found a way to use it to knock off.
If every person saves 75 hours a year, you got a couple options. I'll give you more vacation because you just found a way to get more done. Or you use that time that you just opened up to do even higher value activities. And guess what? The company's going to be more successful and I'll pay you more money. Just with that one tool. And then we went to the other end of the spectrum where Peter created a tool that will improve the quality of the services and the accuracy of the services that we provide. Blows my mind. Like, so yeah, here the like Jocelyn's I think she's like an accountant technically in Mexico. Peter's a tax attorney, and they both created things in this business that will have significant impacts on this business. Those are entrepreneurs, right? That's not their full-time job. It's not everything that they do, but it is a good example. I mean, Google used to do this. I don't remember what they said, but it was something like you can have a day a week or a day a month or a certain number of hours where you just go and work on some pet project. And that's exactly what this was. And holy crap, it's created innovation and it's created efficiency and it's created higher quality in our business. I think it's awesome.
It's saving people time in their jobs with the tasks that they have to do so that then they can focus on the other more important things.
Yeah, like the higher value stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. So absolutely. Yeah, if we could, I mean, one of the first things that I see being automated and replaced by AI in our industry is bookkeeping. It's a very labor intensive job. It's necessary, but it's not high value. There aren't bookkeepers that are charging $500 an hour, right? For better or for worse. It's how I feel about receptionists, right? Crucial job, underpaid for the importance of the job, but not necessarily the highest value that's out there.
Yep.
So yeah, they can go and focus on this higher value stuff. All right, let's get back to the show. Let's get back to my script. Here's the reality check. Business is not easy. Duh. So stop thinking that it's easy. Stop trying to make it easy. And if you get that moment where you're ready to quit or you're ready to shrink or you're ready to think small, I think what happens is I was thinking about hard work, okay? Which led me to think about Donald Trump. Follow me on this. Follow me on this. Now, I said at the beginning of this year when he first took office that he is working at a breakneck speed and it's causing a lot of people a lot of problems and a lot of whiplash. So he puts in some work, although recently it looks like he's been sleeping during some meetings. But so I was thinking about the phrase hard work. And it got me thinking about Donald Trump because that guy loves adjectives. He loves descriptive words that don't actually have any meaning if you stop and think about it, right? These people are the very, very best. I've got the best people. It's like, no, you got people that like you. Yeah. You got people that will do what you say, but I think there's some dispute about whether they're across the board the best. Because the reality is a lot of the best people have no interest in working in government, right? So I was thinking about hard work. And then I started thinking about that adjective, that descriptor. What if we just said it's just work, right? The moment you say this is hard work, it's demotivating. The moment you say this is hard work, it's like, I don't know if it's going to be worth it. But if you just say, hey, this is it.
This is work.
This is the price. Yeah. This is just work. How about that? This is just work.
I like that.
What if waking up at 4:30 every day and going and working out for an hour was just your workout routine?
Yeah.
Versus, oh yeah, it's such a challenge and it's so difficult and I'm working so hard. Isn't that completely different? So if you can just rephrase it and say, well, it's just work. It's just what I have to do. So
it's almost like looking at the work week like you'd look at your weekend, right? Like, I'm just going to hang out this weekend. How about I'm just going to work this week?
That's it, right? I'm just going to work 70 hours this week.
Yeah. Isn't
that completely different?
Than saying, ugh.
Yeah, I have to.
It's going to be so hard. I have to work 70 hours this week. I'm dreading it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's where I tied the lesson together in my head is there's a meaning that we give to it. There's a meaning, the difficulties, let's take the entrepreneur example, the vendor that takes advantage of you, the employee that takes advantage of you, the customer that's just a pain in the neck, which if your marketing was better, you wouldn't have to deal with them for long. If we flipped that perspective and flipped that lens and changed the meaning of it. So let me give you another example. I have to admit this. I'm not going to reach my goal of rowing 1 million meters this year. Not even close.
Happening?
Not even close. So I got excuses,
Is it
right? I got excuses.
bother you?
No, because
Usually you'll hit your goal.
So here's what I did. I flipped the lens on it. This
Okay.
is exactly what I'm trying to explain to people to do. I flipped the lens on it. So here's the reality of what happened. I traveled a bunch in the beginning of the year, going to different events, doing speaking events.
Yep.
So I had to tweak a little bit, and I was still on pace halfway through the year, even though I had to work a little bit harder when I was in town. Fine. And then we took that month-long vacation.
Yeah.
That threw me off. And then I came back, and it's like, well, now I got to catch up. And then I injured myself. So my shoulder, I couldn't row for so I lost 2 months this year. So here I am, December 10th, and I've only rowed 700,000 meters. So I got two options. I can say I'm never going to hit it. Or here's what I did. January 1st, this clock that I made up resets to 0. This counter resets to 0. And I think there's a lot of people, if you're not getting this analogy, take some time to think about it. There's a lot of people that are sitting here on December 10th, short of their goals and saying, well, it's going to reset to 0 on January 1st. I'll just start over then. I'm looking at it going, saying, this is like bonus time for me. I'm going to go from 700,000 to 800,000 in the next 21 days, and then it's still going to reset to 0. So I'm looking at this opportunity and saying I'm falling short, and I'm using that as an opportunity to work even harder, because 100,000 meters in 21 days would be quite a bit. So it's almost a half an hour a day for me, I think. So I'm flipping it around and saying, well, I'm using what would be demotivational to people of I'm not reaching my goal and January 1st is coming. And I'm saying I'm going to use this as motivation instead.
To see how much I can still do before the end of the year.
Yep. This is
It's not quitting, it's pushing.
It's actually doubling down. It's actually putting my foot down farther on the gas because I know I'm not going to hit the goal and the pressure is actually off now.
Yeah.
So I know I'm not going to hit. I know the outcome is I'm not going to hit my goal. So I'm going to work twice as hard.
I thought about that. I was thinking about that at one of my son's basketball games. They were playing East High, which great basketball team. They got in the amount of time they had left to the end of the game in the stretch of the points, they weren't going to win. There wasn't the time, right? There was no way. They could have stopped playing hard. They could have been like, we're not, look, we have 2 minutes left.
Yeah,
and
throw in the third
points.
stringers, it's over.
Yeah. But they continued to play just as hard to still score as many points as they could to close the gap. So it wasn't as big.
So that's the moment where when you're taking pride in the work and you're taking pride in the effort versus taking pride in the outcome, that's what separates successful from unsuccessful people. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. But when you're in that moment in your business and you say, I'm packing it up and going home. I'm going to reduce the size of the business, reduce the size of my staff. I'm going to quit and go get a job. If you detach from the outcome and you say, you know what, if I really was the type of, how would I feel if I was the type of person that didn't give up right now and that pushed through right now and made this happen? I'm going to feel even better about myself, regardless of the outcome. Yep. So it's focusing on the work and not the output. I think that nailed it.
I think some people get so focused on what that end goal is and hitting that end goal that it's just like the focusing on how hard you're getting there kind of gets lost, right? Like you don't see it as that you have succeeded in how hard, like you said, in the effort that you put from where you started to where you ended up, even if you didn't make it.
Yes. So here's the other thing I was thinking about. I was thinking about the phrase, the new normal. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that? That was only 5.5 years ago. Yeah. The new normal. I don't think anybody predicted this current state as what the new normal would be, but here we are. The world is not going back to the way that it was.
Nope.
You're sitting here as an individual saying, I'm going to go back to the way that I was, but the world isn't. You're going to get left behind. You're not going to be able to keep up. You're not going to be able to maintain the status quo like we talk about in the intro to the show. That the rest of the world is growing and evolving because of those people at the top who refuse to shrink and die.
Yeah.
Those are the people that keep things moving forward. They're not going to slow down for you, which means the world is not going to slow down for you. And this is the challenge that you and I were talking about, is we avoided this, I think, pretty well in our business.
Okay.
But there was a long period of time in the world where your hiring criteria was warm body. Mm-hmm. You're hired. We're so desperate for help. It's so hard to find people.
Yep.
So you would hire underperformers. You would hire people that weren't a culture fit. You would hire people that weren't willing to put in the work just because it was better than having nothing.
Right. It was someone that could do something.
Here's the good news for those of us who care about winning. That's over. That's done. This was Google and Amazon and Facebook and Microsoft hiring like mad during the pandemic because they didn't know they had the cash and they didn't know what was going to happen. So they're going to acquire all this talent and bring all these people in and put them in jobs actually doing nothing, adding no value, not helping improve the business, but just getting these players on the bench just in case. I don't know if it's good or bad, but maybe this is the reason I don't run a big company like that. Those people are all getting laid off now. Because the world caught up with reality and where things were going, and these businesses, they had the cash to support it. Most of the big businesses, you look at companies that are publicly traded, most of them have more cash than they need for any realistic use. But out of fear, they hoard it because they don't want to pay dividends to the stockholders, because what if we need this if some opportunity comes up or if the economy tanks or whatever. So they would use it for hiring and recruiting and bringing in talent. And now those people are all being let go. We're seeing this at the big four accounting firms too. They were on a hiring spree. Now they're all announcing layoffs. So as a business owner, I think the good news is we're back to the point where you can be proud of your standards again.
Yeah. You can hire on your standards.
Yes.
Yeah.
You imagine this. Imagine trying to compete with the company that says we are the hardest working. Imagine trying to compete with them. And I don't mean we put in the most hours.
Right.
I say we are the hardest working. Imagine competing with a company that says we are the most committed to what we're doing. Imagine competing with a company that says we aren't willing to accept excuses. Imagine trying to compete with them. Well, here's the thing. It's not a fantasy. That's the reality.
Yeah.
Every day, someone wakes up with the intention of putting you out of business, and they are willing to outwork you. They are willing to be more committed than you. They are willing to make more sacrifices than you. They are not willing to accept excuses every single day. You're not going to compete with those people.
No.
You're not.
No. I think there's people that are really hungry to move forward and be at a certain spot. And if you're just kind of hanging out there in the middle and doing what just gets you by, and you're not willing to keep up with them, they're going to pass you.
The bare minimum isn't going to cut it anymore.
Yeah.
And let's also not forget that average is average. Who wakes up every day and says, man, I just want to be so average today? I shouldn't say that. I'm sure there's people wake up that are incredibly disadvantaged who would dream of an average life.
Yeah.
So fine. The top half doesn't want to wake up and be average. The bottom half that maybe would be willing to accept average, because that would be an improvement, fine. But are you willing to do what it takes to get there? And that's where most people stop.
Yeah.
It's a hope and a dream that, yes, I want to improve my situation. And then they get started, and then it gets difficult, and they go back to where they were because that was comfortable.
I don't ever want to get there. I don't ever want to, like, I made it. I don't want to meet that.
No, there's no destination.
Because I don't ever want to flatten out. I don't ever want to just exist in a everyday, this is what it is and that's what it's going to be. Like, there's got to keep being something.
Every time you
more.
talk about that, I think about I don't even remember the episode number or what the topic was, but we had like a management playbook that we created. And you dug into what motivates people. And for some people it's money, and for some people it's fulfilling the mission, and for other people it's being part of a team. And then there were 4 or 5 categories. Another category is people that just want growth, and they don't want to be the same a year from now as they were last year, right? Fine. That was actually a super helpful episode for me because I realized that about you. You care more about growth than money.
Yeah. I need, it's a thing. Me. Like I have to, but it's a internal thing for me. Like there are certain levels that I need to reach in that.
Yeah. But you still get frustrated when people don't have the same goal as you. When people aren't interested in learning and growth and developing, angry. You get angry.
Yeah, I don't.
So let's talk about that too.
Yeah.
I get angry too. Mm-hmm. I get disappointed, which immediately leads to anger. This is a therapy session.
Yeah.
Anger's the easy answer. I feel angry when you are such a failure. So I do get disappointed because I know that Jackie and I, as owners of the business, we are the most committed. Mm-hmm. We are willing to work the hardest. We are the least willing to accept excuses. That's the nature of being the business owner. Fine. So when the standards aren't met, your expectations aren't met for whatever reason, it could be you just didn't clearly communicate them. Yeah. It could be that you didn't give your people the resources that they need, or it could be that they're deadbeat losers. There's other categories, but I had to throw that one out.
Yeah. That's a true category.
So when they exist, we try to avoid hiring them. I joked to myself yesterday, we've hired 9 people this year.
Yeah.
And 6 of them are still with us. I don't mean to laugh, but that's the other part of it is I'll never forget years ago, I was at a seminar and a guy said, I want to grow my business to 50 employees. And the guy running the seminar is a great coach said, all right, be prepared to hire 100. And everybody laughed, but it wasn't like a haha funny joke. It was like, oh my God, that's true.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, keeping 6 out of 9 is not bad.
It's not bad.
All right, so let's go back to anger.
Yeah.
I don't get angry at the 30% that haven't made it. The anger is okay to feel and to have. It's not okay to express.
Oh.
So the person that you're angry with, you're not going to get very far yelling at them, but you can use that as your own internal motivation. And if you have to express it to feel better, fine. Go scream into the abyss. But don't yell at that person. And listen, I'm as guilty as anybody on this thing. But that's what I realized is that anger, that passion, that emotion is perfectly fine. Let's use it.
Yeah.
That's my dark side, right? You want to use the positive and the building the vision and things are going to be great and what we're going to do is awesome. That's good too. If you have an emotional attachment to that, that's great too. But anger is actually, I think, underutilized as a tool.
Because it's meant to be bad.
Well, people think it's bad.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you today to flip the lens. Don't think of it as something bad. It's a natural consequence of life.
Yeah.
Somebody who doesn't get angry has no passion and I don't like them.
Yeah.
You gotta love something. And if you're gonna love something, you probably need to hate something too. I don't know if that's true.
That people are like, I'm just super laid back, like nothing bothers me. Like bull.
Yeah, try harder. Like, you're not trying very
exactly.
hard.
Like then you've just existed in this space where nothing can, because it's very just simple and you've accepted the easy.
Yeah. So since we kind of segued into that, since we've addressed your anger issue, I
really feel like I have one.
let's segue into leadership.
Yeah.
The moments, let's focus on growth, right? Because that's your thing. You like growth. But if it's not growth, if it's being part of a team, if it's making money, if it's whatever it is, right? The moments in your life where you've achieved the most in that category, the moments in your life where you've had the most growth, the moments in your life where you've made the most money, the moments in your life where you've had the biggest impact, were those the easy moments in your life?
No.
Never.
No.
Never. They're always the hardest moments.
You know, we hit that sales goal. You know how many times I cried to hit that sales goal in November? It was hard.
Yeah, and you made it by 1.
I know, but it was still, for me, it was something I wasn't used to doing consistently in that amount.
And you know where I failed you as a leader?
What?
Is we celebrated that. And I didn't come back and say, all right, it's 1 more next month.
Yeah.
I didn't make it hard for you.
Yeah.
I failed as a leader.
Yeah.
You can celebrate the win. Yeah, great. But if our football game's on Sunday, we're back in there Monday watching film. And we're at practice on Tuesday.
Right.
So for yourself, the moments where you've achieved the most success as you define it, fitness, wealth, impact, legacy, whatever, those have never been the easiest moments in your life. The easy moments in your life have not got you those results. So as a leader, stop trying to make life easier for everyone else. Instead, because here's the trade-off. If you're making your people's lives easier, and I'm going to address exceptions to this, but if you're making your people's lives easier, you are not making them better.
This is true.
Now, I don't mean that you need to give them old broken laptops. I don't mean...
We're not trying to make them struggle.
I don't mean that you need to force them into 22-hour fasts. But what I am saying is you need to push them and stretch them, just like you do for yourself. So using that hesitation of like, I want to make people's lives easier. I want people to like me, which is such that's the opposite of success. Frankly, is having people like you.
Yeah.
Who were we just talking about?
It's hard when you start to realize people don't. That's a hard when you right like it's.
What's hard about realizing that people don't want to be stretched and pushed? People don't want to be stretched and pushed. They want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Accept that.
Yeah.
And then go find the people that do want to be stretched and pushed. Those are the people that I want to work with because those are the people that are going to help me win and I'm going to help them win. And that's what we're interested in, winning. The rest of the people, the below average, the middle, I don't want those people on my team. I actually don't even want to be around those people most of the time.
Yeah.
It's like, it's really, that's uncomfortable for me, is being in a room of people that are happy with where they are, which is fine, but also not aspiring for more.
It's that.
Like, so you're saying every time I interact with you, it's going to be exactly the same?
Yeah.
No, thanks. No, thanks.
But I think that's why there are employees that only work to a certain level because they're not aspiring to be any more, to be any better, to make any more, to like they're at their level. They're like, no, I'm good here. So I'm just going to do the stuff that makes me good here.
Yep. And here's the problem. They're either going to get fired or that company's going out of business. That's it. Period. End of story. The businesses that stay the same because their people are staying the same or their leadership just isn't there are not going to exist long term. So as an employer, it's your job to raise that standard to survive. Here is the expectation. Here's the goal. You want to really impress me, hit the goal, but to keep your job, here's the standard, and it's slightly above where you are right now. Yeah. If 22 was good enough last month, it better be 23 next month, because 22 isn't going to cut it again. But you as an employee need to make sure that you meet those standards in order to keep your job. And that's the hard part, is the standards must be raised.
Yeah.
They must be increased. They must cause you to stretch, because that's where the growth and the success comes from. Otherwise, you're staying exactly where you are. So get used to that.
Well, yeah, I feel like here's your tasks. Here are the things that you're supposed to be doing. Get really good at doing those. Once you're there, raise it a little bit higher, and then take this on and add that to it. And then once that's good, it's the next thing.
And that's a really good example of going back to AI, is it's like, all right, I've reached my capacity. I'm doing everything that I can do. And then I just used AI to found a way to save myself 45 minutes times 100 clients per year. And gosh, next year we want to sign up 200 clients. Yeah. So we just got 4 weeks of time back from that employee. So yes, it's my obligation as a business owner to create a compelling vision, build the team, and provide sufficient support for my team. But it's your obligation as an employee to understand how you contribute to the success of the business. Because the reality is that makes you indispensable. If I can point at a member of my team and say, here's how you contribute to the success of the business, it's very hard to replace you. It's very risky to replace you.
Yeah.
Now, there may be other ways that you're detracting from the business, so we have to look at it on the whole. But if you, by understanding how you contribute to the success of the business and working towards that, you become indispensable. And there's failures on both sides here. often leaders and managers aren't clear with the employees of here's how you contribute to our success. And then there's the employees of not actually making that contribution because they don't know how, or they aren't willing to do it, or for whatever reason. So that's where it really comes back to I mean, it really falls on both sides of both the leadership and the subordinate, I guess I'll say.
I like watching and listening and observing to what other people know and do, because I always think if someone is even close to being able to do what I do, and they're adding something that I don't know how to do yet, or I'm not good at, I want to know what that is, and then I need to get good at it so that that person can't ever step into my shoes, right? Because they can't have a skill that I don't.
Yep. So I'm realizing my own shortcomings here. So I'm reading books written by John U. Bacon. So I finished Let Them Lead, which is about the high school hockey team that he coached. Killer book. I'm now reading, I don't remember the title, but it's Bo's Lasting Lessons, I think. So it's about Bo Schembechler, who was a Michigan football coach. And there's a lot of similarity between the two books because John took a lot of his coaching lessons from the years that he spent with Bo. But the part I was reading this morning was really interesting because he loved friction and tension and conflict in the coaches' meetings, right? He didn't want a bunch of yes men. He wanted people to debate. And he would get in and basically throw a grenade over the wall and then lean back and just watch what would happen. So he would say, all right, we got Ashley on as our starting offensive guard, but I think we should move Joel up from second string to first string. And then he would just back up. And if they fought about it, if there was an argument over it, he'd say, all right, maybe this starter is worth it. But the moment that people were like, oh, maybe, you knew that first stringer wasn't putting in the work, wasn't putting in the effort. Right? And those like that was a way to push his leaders to make his people better. All right, so then let's tie this back to my life. Last Monday, when I was gone, I left Jackie here with both kids and the business. I was down with my parents, and then I was at a mastermind. So we get a message from the coach, Sunday night, football coach, saying, hey, team meeting tomorrow, 7:50 a.m., my office. So we usually get to Royce to school right at 8 a.m. So I'm like, all right, Jackie, 10 minutes earlier. Thanks. So gets him there, and the coach says, hey, we are, I've been thinking, like, Royce hasn't been in the weight room. And I don't know if he's avoiding it. I don't know if he's skipping it. Right. So turns out they just weren't doing it yet. They took it's been a month since the season ended or so. So, they took some time to regroup. So it turns out from this meeting, they're going in the weight room 3 days a week at 6:15 a.m. Woof. Yeah. It's a 20-minute drive for me to get to that facility from my house, right? And he's got to be there at 6:15. Well, Jackie covered all three of those last week. Whew. Love you. Yep. I had my first one yesterday. I took him in. We got there early. And we're driving in, and he's got the light on in the car because it was cold yesterday. It was 10 degrees. Yeah. It was 10 degrees. It was 5:42 in the morning when we left our house. He turns the light on in the car, and he's studying going to the weight room at 6:15 a.m. And I'm thinking, I wish I had this when I was in high school. Yeah. I wish someone gave me this opportunity. And that's where this is really interesting to me, is because we were talking last night, and he goes, Dad, there are leaders on the team that aren't in the weight room at 6:15 a.m. And I want to call them out. I said, no, there's leaders on that team. You have coaches, you have captains. You are a freshman. You shut your mouth. Don't say nothing. But you do not miss one of those days. Because they're watching. But I didn't force it on him. But I said, imagine if you didn't miss any of those days. If you're there every single day at 6:15 a.m., what do you think is going to happen? And he goes, I'm going to get a lot more playing time. Like, yes. Oh my God. He got it. Yep. Like, he's a 14-year-old kid, 15-year-old kid. Damn it, I knew I was going to do that. 15-year-old kid. I was just joking with Penny yelled at me because I called her a 6-year-old several episodes ago. Yeah, and then I went, no, 8. 7, no, 8. She has not forgiven me. That's been 6 weeks probably. And then I was thinking, I think I keep calling Royce a 14-year-old. He's 15. And he's not the hardest working because he's like his dad. He got lucky at birth and was born with a certain level of intelligence that he doesn't have to work as hard in school. But now he's learning that work ethic. Mm-hmm. And that he's actually taking pride in the process and not in the outcome. He's not going to start next year. Maybe he will. I doubt he's going to start next year. His grades are great, but that's not the goal. The goal is, are you putting in the work? Like, did you think about this as an employee? When was the last time you were proud of the work you put in? Not the outcome. Sales goal is great. Hit the sales goal. Wonderful. Best month that we've ever had. Great. Are you proud of the work that you did, or are you proud of the score on the scoreboard?
Yeah. Oh, the score. I'll be, and I think here's the thing that people don't want to admit, but I'll admit
Wait, answer the question. This is important because there's a right and wrong answer.
Yeah, no,
and I think
I'm
you were
not
about to
proud
say
of
the
it.
wrong answer.
No, I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it because I didn't give 100%, and I know that.
Yeah.
I absolutely know that. As hard as it was during that time, I could have given a lot more and probably gotten a lot more. So yeah, that goal was great. But internally, I also know I didn't do my best. That wasn't my best.
All right, you're fired.
So but I'm willing to say that is the thing.
Yeah.
I'm willing to know that about myself.
Yeah. So let's go back to the mindset piece of this, because I think there's some myths, right? Smaller, when your business was smaller, it wasn't actually easier. There's a lot of nostalgia around that. When I only
the good old times.
When I only had 2 employees,
Yeah.
when I only had 2 personalities to deal with, me being the third, maybe carrying excess weight there, and I did everything, it wasn't actually easier. In fact, it was harder in different ways. It's a different kind of hard now. So that nostalgia, I had no leverage. I had no help. I couldn't scale. And it was really this like feast or famine of revenue. I'd have a great month and then 2 slow months, and that was not pleasant.
Yeah.
So it turns out that in that moment where you go, I'm going to shrink, I'm going to go backwards, or I'm going to quit and go and get a job, what you're craving isn't the smallness. What you're craving isn't that historical, here's how it used to be and that's how I want it to be. What you're craving is support and structure. You need systems, you need people, you need a business that you're not carrying by yourself. And it turns out, I don't think there's a person out there that doesn't have a better vision for their business. And the ones who actually achieve that better vision are happier and are better off. Some people don't. Some people don't achieve. They have the vision. They know what they'd like it to be, and they don't know how to get there, or they don't know what to do to get there. Well, great. That's when you hire a coach or a consultant. But for small businesses, we call ourselves coaches. So if you've got that better vision and you don't know how to get there, great. And that's where some of the discouragement comes from too, is like, oh, I'm trying all this different stuff and none of it's working. So I want to go back to where I was. But I can say across the board, if you actually spend the time to create that vision of what you want to do, how much money you want to make, what you want the business to look like, how you want to spend your time. If you create that vision and you figure out how to get there, your life will be better off. I actually just showed this to Jackie yesterday and I think I talked about it during our State of the Company meeting yesterday. In 2019, we had like 17 different practice areas that we were working in the law firm. And our team was smaller than it is now. Like that was a lot.
That's a lot.
It seems like that was better. That was pre-pandemic, that was, life was good. We had been in our old house for a couple of years and really liked it there. And it's like, you know what though? It's better now. And for me, what's really interesting is when I think about the ways that it's better, my first thought is it's better for the clients. Our clients are better served now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's like, yeah, I make more money too. But I don't know if I'm maturing or softening, but I don't know. I guess that's
happens with
good.
age.
Shut up.
Think you have a birthday coming up.
Shut up. And we're not celebrating. What is that? Everybody's like, let's do cake for Adam's birthday. No, you want to celebrate my birthday? Go to work.
I know. That's what Christy's like, should we do the thing? And I'm like, I don't. I'm like, what's his schedule? What's his work like? And the answer is probably no. She's like, he just declined. I'm like, figured.
That was.
I knew it.
She wasn't getting it until I marked no on the calendar.
Yeah.
And listen, I understand the value of spending time with my team, but we literally have our Christmas party next Friday night. We're going to be together we're going to be sick of each other by the time of that.
We're going to be sick of each other. No, because it's Christmas. I feel like I'll find myself separating into all the Christmas areas of Erie.
Yeah. Have you looked at the bar that they built in the brewery?
No.
It's a pop-up Christmas bar.
I've heard about it, and people keep telling me about it.
Pictures of this thing? It's magical.
Oh yeah, but I thought it was the whole bar. I didn't realize it was actually like a section of it. Yeah, I had no idea. So excited.
Yeah. All right, so here's the thing. Stop avoiding the discomfort. Oh, quote of the day. Ashley, what's our quote of the day?
Our quote of the day. I know, right? So, change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change.
And that's it. And that's it. So your desire to go backwards is the avoidance of discomfort. It's not actually the avoidance of pain. It's the avoidance of discomfort. It's avoidance of the fear and doubt and uncertainty and unknown. So understand when you're thinking about shrinking or going backwards or quitting, what it is you're actually looking for. Now, again, this may be okay. You may be in a situation where you say, I don't want to be here anymore. But for most people, I genuinely believe that the problem they have is not that it's too hard or that it's too uncomfortable. It's that the vision isn't compelling enough. The goals aren't compelling enough. So like you don't grow and stay comfortable at the same time.
No.
So stop trying to make things easy. Start making things worth it.
Remember the saying, growing pains? I remember you be your kid and be like, oh, my legs hurt. And your parents say, oh, those are growing pains.
Really? Is that a thing?
Yeah. It's an actual, but it.
I think I have those. I'm growing horizontally, not vertically, but yeah, I still have those. It's
a thing, though. Growing is painful because it's, like you said, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it's not always fun.
But in the human body experience, you don't have a choice. You grow, right? Like that's just the nature of being a human being.
But we should have that same. I don't have a choice. My body's going to grow.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have a choice. My mind's going to grow. I don't have a choice. I need to grow.
Sure.
That should be the mindset people have.
That gets a little woo-woo. Like, oh, I don't have a choice. I'm gonna succeed. I'm gonna get the thing that I want. That's there's coaches out there that'll tell you that that's what you need to do.
Well, it may not be the thing that you think you want.
But if you that's more accurate.
Yeah, if you can keep the mindset of no matter what, I'm going to succeed.
Yeah.
I cannot accept failure in any sense. You're going to get further than you would be if you were just, I'm good.
Let me tell you the last analogy I thought of on this.
Go for it.
So I was thinking about 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Isn't that a song? 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Oh, good one.
Opposites attract, Paula Abdul.
All right, stop singing. We're going to get sued. So you're familiar with the phrase. You're familiar with the phrase.
Yeah.
And the more I've been giving that a lot of thought too. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But if you take 10 steps forward, it's not 5 steps back. Mm-mm. It's not linear. It's more like 4 steps back.
Yeah.
Right? If you take 100 steps forward, it's not 50 steps back. It's like 37. Right? Yep. It's just like the basketball analogy, that the more shots you take, and please do it during practice, not just during the game, but the more shots that you take, the better you get at shooting. Mm-hmm. So 2 steps forward and 1 step back, we overuse that phrase, but the reality is my steps back now are so less frequent and so less impactful than they were when I was only taking 10 shots.
Yeah.
Now I'm taking 1,000. Because you get better. You get better at stepping forward. Your steps forward are bigger.
Yeah.
And you make them more frequent and you get better at doing it so that your steps back are less frequent and less impactful. That's where I've been spending the time on this, is like, if I actually did go way back to where I was, if you really stop and think about it, it wasn't that good. You're nostalgic for the certainty that you had, the comfort that you think you would have because you're familiar with it. But the comfort of familiarity is so different from the comfort of doing hard things, the discomfort of doing hard things.
Yeah.
So stop avoiding your own discomfort because it's causing you to shrink your vision. And when you're trying to protect your team from discomfort, you're shrinking their potential. Let's flip that lens. Let's go the opposite direction. Let's make the vision and the goal and the stretch even greater so that we achieve that growth and get more out of life. Go do it. I believe in you. Have a great week, everybody.